Hello.
Hi, Pablo.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
Thank you for this. Thank you for this interview. It really means a lot to us. So let's get started with a couple of questions and so on. More than 50 years since Scorpion started rocking, and you guys still making records. How do you feel about that?
That's great. I mean, that's the reason why we called the album Rock Believer. Because, you know, when somebody is a believer, then we are. Because we believe from the first time, first minute in music, in rock. And for us was fantastic coming out of Germany and really, playing around the whole world and over 80 countries and having so many fans around the world. I mean, that's unbelievable. And we play in front and we play through rock believers as well. And that's the great thing about that. Because when the Beatles started, you know, people said, that will be for 3 years and then it's done with the whole rock thing, you know? No, hey, it's still happening. And that's great. Even when many people said, oh, rock is dead. It's not, because it's a very strong music and we are very happy to use this music to reach out for our fans.
That's great. Klaus, would you like to add something on this point?
Well, like Rudolf said, you know, we're rock believers from the early days until now. It's been a long and exciting journey. And I remember last show we did in Santiago, not too long ago, 2019. We have very strong following, many rock believers in Chile. And so, yeah, we can't wait to go back out on the road again, you know, and we can't believe it's more than 50 years. And so the release of the album Rock Believer will mark exactly the 50th anniversary of the Scorpions as recording artists, you know, and that's quite a special achievement, you know, and we're very proud of it.
Let's talk about the new single. It sounds like the heavy metal from the 70s. Will the new album go in that line?
Yeah, that album will focus on the hard and heavy side of the band, you know, and we had a great time here in Peppermint Park Studios in Germany, Hanover, our home base, and together with Mickey D, Pavel Maciekota, and Martinez, you know, Rudolf, myself, the whole band playing together, and we try to go back to the Scorpions DNA and make an album with lots of attitude, and it's been a lot of fun, you know, to work this way. And at the end we had enough material for a double album, you know, so it shows, and it's a great thing after all these years that the creativity is still great, and so many great ideas for this new album. And like I said, it's focused on the hard and heavy side of the band. Of course, there will be maybe another ballad, of course, but the focus, it rocks, you know, and it was a lot of fun to work together all these months.
I remember, well, your albums on the 21st century have been very special. I remember Humanity Hour 1, especially with many kind of a metal influence. So is going to be some of that, or just focus, as you said, on the Scorpions DNA with more hard rock input? Rudolf, would you like to add something on that?
I mean, when we did Hour 1, that was more a kind of experiment with our American producer, who said, look, guys, I have some very good writers. Why not going from scratch and really try to make with these great writers a kind of very a new type of Scorpions kind of album, you know. And we were open for it because time was anyway a little bit shaky, and we said, okay, then let's do and let's try what comes out. But in the end, actually, it's like that we didn't felt so happy, because we know when we only concentrate on ourselves, then we much stronger. But anyway, you have to make something different, like Metallica did with Lou Reed, you know? They also did. They want to be working with other musicians and want to see what they would do with the Scorpions DNA. So in this case, it was a good experience for us, and with Michaels and with the producer. That was fantastic. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it was really great. And but you know, this one, because of Corona, we were forced by
nature.
Yes, Klaus.
No, we were forced by nature, you know, going through this pandemic, and we put all the power and faith and concentration and focus on the band. We had a great team here together with our co-producer Hans Martin Buff, who was also the engineer of the album. You know, we stayed here in Germany because we couldn't travel to America. And Greg Fielderman, who we started working with, he couldn't come over here, you know. It was kind of complicated to go through this very hard lockdown times, but at the same time, it was a blessing that we could work on new material and create new songs for a new album, you know. So it's been a good journey, and now it's all done, and we're looking very much forward to next year when we start the Rock Believer tour in Vegas in March.
Great. Do you have any support band that you will going to spend the time with, or you don't know yet? How are the plans for this tour?
Well, when we start in Las Vegas next year, there will be Skid Row, will be the support band for the residency, and that will be kind of cool. And later the year, when we come back to Europe, we will have Mammoth, the new band of Eddie Van Halen's son, Wolfgang. We're very excited about having him with us here and some dates in Germany, and also, and there are different support acts along the way.
Okay, so this tour will be with bands on the same ground, hard rock line. So it will be very special for your fans across the world, I think. How are the things in Germany right now with all this thing? Is the pandemic ending, or the situation is almost the same? Have you been able to see or play shows there? What are the news from that part of the world?
Klaus, you're better informed.
Right now, the pandemic is still in full swing, you know, and I mean, it's over the summer, there were a lot of artists that started to go out again and play concerts while we were still working on the album. So we could use the lockdown times very well. And nobody knows right now, since we're going into winter time right now, the opposite from Latin America. So it's going to be cold weather over here. And so the numbers are not looking very good at the moment. And so it looks like the pandemic comes back in a strong way. So, but we're still thinking positive, and we hope that in the spring next year, it's going to be all right, and the whole pandemic will be a little more under control, you know. So we're optimistic that we can go out on the road again when we're looking into next year, into springtime, when the weather is getting better over here. That it's exactly like the last year. It was a overall much better scenario. Over the summer, we had the feeling things are getting better and it's all opening up. Where it's now, it looks like another lockdown is not too far away.
Rudolf, what are your memories from the last concert before the pandemic?
I mean, it was really Singapore. I remember we came from Indonesia. The volcano was exploding 1 hour after we left the airport. That was great because it was a good situation for us that we could escape and play in there, and it was great to play, no question about this. But we got already the information that Philippines, Manila, is cancelled because of the corona. And yeah, we know that would be maybe for a while the last concert. And in this case, we put all the power in Singapore, and the minister, president, part of the culture president was over there and had a speech talking to the audience to keep down and not being too excited, which was not working anyway. But you know, it was a little bit a sick moment for us, because we know when this will happen, then we never know what will be happen. But we had one good thing before we accept the Philippine concert, Manila. We already planned to do an album, and that was a good situation. That means we didn't have to change anything. That was the last concert, which we couldn't do in the Philippines. But I mean, Singapore was a great ending anyway also. So in this case, we had all the time to really work, relax, and not with pressure, okay, we have to go to America because we have to finish this year. And no, it was really kind of, okay, let's use the time where we don't know that we know what we can do on the musical side. And that was great for us, because you know, when you're in the middle of the tour and then you're hearing, hey, you have to stop the tour, that's very depressing. But we were very, very lucky.
Yeah, I have talked with many musicians, and they have told me exactly the same thing, that with the pandemic they had more time to rest the songs, to analyze them, to produce a more relaxed job. Not only international musicians, but local musicians too. They all had the time to think about the music. In that sense, do you feel more relaxed? And I think this is the first record with Mickey D on the drums.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That correct? So
yes.
So what do you think about that? Mickey did a great job on Motorhead. Motorhead fans will always remember him for that. What do you think about his work on this album?
It's Scorpio Head now.
You mean like more
He kicked ass.
Yeah, Mickey really kicks ass. He's a great guy and amazing musician, great drummer, you know. So yeah, he's with us since 2016, but it's the first time we went in the studio, played together. He was so very much motivated, and it was just a lot of fun actually to be in this room right behind me, the whole band playing and Mickey going crazy. Wow. Another track, another take. And he said, come on, let's do it, guys, you know. So he was very motivating, and he gave us a good shot of energy, you know. The whole combination with Mickey, it works very, very well.
Motorhead did record a live album here in Chile. And yes, and wow, it has been one of my favorite shows at this point. So well, we hope that with the great fans here in Latin America, you should do the same, right?
Okay.
Okay, guys. So two more questions. Last year there was the 30-year anniversary of Crazy World album. What do you think about that, and what can you remember about those moments? The 90s was a very crazy crazy era for the music industry. So what do you remember about that album especially?
That was a crazy time, but in a positive way. Now we have a crazy time in a negative way. You know, that's what we
Yes.
really noticed by all this. It was a fantastic situation for us because we had a plan anyway to go to Russia and play as one of the first bands in Russia. You know, and then feeling 1 year later on the Music Peace Festival, feeling that there is some changes in the air, you know, and then really Klaus writing this soundtrack of the falling of the Berlin Wall. It was fun. We were middle in time, and the title says anyway, it's a crazy world. Yeah, that's the point. And we were in middle, we were part of it until we were invited by Mr. Gorbachev. I mean, how closer you can be connected to the history and to the whole situation. And of course, that's the basic situation for being a musician. You be inspired. So, and then you're writing a song, and then really becomes a super hit around the world for love, peace, and rock and roll. So, yeah. And that's what was fantastic for us. That was the most important point. And this album became a big seller, and we had a long world tour around the world because of this whole stories. The wall came down.
Yeah, and last year we celebrated also the anniversary of Wind of Change, where we released a very special box set with a limited edition, you know, so to celebrate also this peace anthem, Wind of Change, with a special release, you know. Yeah.
Right. So I think it all comes to celebrations in Scorpion's world. So thank you very much, guys. What message can you give us as final words to our rock believers, Scorpion fans in Latin America and in Chile, of course?
Well, this new album will be dedicated to all the rock believers all over the world. And of course, now we're talking with you guys in Latin America, in Chile, you know, and we know there are so many rock believers out there. And keep going, guys, rock on. We're looking very much forward to see all of you again on the Rock Believer Tour. And we hope to come back and rock Santiago, of course, like a hurricane.
Yes.
Yes. We hope so. Thank you very much, guys, for this interview.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure to talk with such legends. My dad will be very, very excited about this. Look at this interview, because he's a very proud fan of you. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Pablo.